Okay, so hello everyone. I hope I'm audible to all of you. Just give me a thumbs up or any of emoticon. Okay, great. Thanks. Give me a second. We will be starting the session in next 1 minute. Okay, guys. So let's start with the session. The session is completely, we will be talking about how to build modern applications, backend application using APIs. And we will understand the role of APIs into it. We will know more about what backend is, what languages are used, and lot more in-depth knowledge for the same. So first of all, I welcome you to all today's webinar. The webinar is completely hosted by Pregrad. Pregrad is an edtech platform, and we provide different upskilling courses to students, and we help them start their career early. Let's say if you're in first year, second year of your graduation, or master's degree or anything, and you want to upskill into 3 to 4 months and quickly upskill and then apply for internship opportunities. So if you are someone who's looking to upskill, if you are someone who is looking forward to start their career by grabbing any internship opportunities without any headache of applying to all of the jobs on LinkedIn or all of the jobs on Internshala Indeed, TreeGrad is your go-to place. So without any further delay, we will start with today's session. We provide such sessions on weekly basis on Saturdays and Sundays. If you want more update for the same, you can go visit our website. Second pointer is that if you're looking for notes, resources, recordings, and mentors detail, you can just go and quickly join the WhatsApp group link that I've shared over chat box, and it will help you to have all of the resources, notes, recordings of the session in case if you want to revisit the session and understand wise all of the things you are learning today. Yeah, that is it. Number third, we will also be telling in the WhatsApp group that how to earn a free industrial certification program by FreeGrad. So if you are someone who are looking forward to upskill, who are looking forward to, get any of the industrial recognized certificates, you can just, yes, you can just quickly join the WhatsApp group. Now let's start with the session. For this today's session, we have a very special guest with us, Rajdeep sir. Uh, can you hear me, Rajdeep sir?
Uh-huh. You're audible, Ritika.
Okay, thank
Am
you,
I
Raj.
audible?
Yeah, yes, you are completely
Okay,
audible. Sir, we can start with today's session. Please go
definitely.
ahead with your introduction and then the entire insightful journey of the domain.
Okay, sure.
All right. Thank
Let's
you.
start. Mm, just can anyone confirm? Am I visible? Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so due to the setup means due to my setup, I will be looking like this. Okay, most of the time means I won't be facing the camera because my camera is little towards the left and my screen is over here. Okay, sorry for this, but just means cooperate with me. So today I will be talking about backend, backend server database, and what is backend and what we will do. Just for a short introduction, my name is Rajdeep Chakraborty. I did my BTech CSE from 2018 to 2022 from West Bengal Kalyani Government Engineering College. This is the second best college in our state, and as I said, I did proceed with CSE I did mainly I did all my coding in Python. In college years, I was more into machine learning and data science and all those. But as you know, the job opportunities are more in web development. So as I went to end of third year and fourth year, I slowly moved into the web development domain. Web development domain has lot of jobs, lot of openings, lot of intensive opportunities compared to ML. And suppose if there are 100 jobs, then 90 will be in web development and 10 will be in machine learning. So after college, in fourth year, last 6 months, I interned with Cognizant. Over there, I did full stack development in Java. And then after the internship, I got placed in TCS Digital, and then I moved into TCS as a backend developer. Okay. No, so my expertise is mainly Python, backend development with Flask, and in future I also know JavaScript. And in future I'm planning to move into Node.js. That won't take much of a time because as I'm see the concepts in backends are all same. Whatever may be the language may be Java, the language may be Python, the language may be JavaScript, but the concepts are same. There are some basic concepts like APIs, routing, authentication, authorization, security. Means these are concepts are common over all languages. These things will remain same. Only the syntax will change little bit. So as I am very familiar with backend Python development, I can easily move into Node.js domain. It will just take 7 days. I will just search the syntax for 2 3 days, and one or two projects I will build within 2 3 days, and then I will be very okay to move with Node.js. So means language is not a barrier for backend. Always remember this thing is if you are doing backend in Java, you won't face much difficulty in shifting to another language. Okay, plus concepts are all same. Okay, so let's start with today's presentation. I prepared a presentation for you guys. And one more thing, you can follow me in these pages. I'm just sharing the links. I have a YouTube channel. You can go there and I will launch some courses, free courses, and my GitHub. You can visit my GitHub for the project links. I will show the projects from there. I'm sharing it in the chat. Just for further, if you need any further information or something. Okay. Okay. So let's start with the seminar. I gave a quick introduction about myself. Uh, Kickstart your our session is entirely on backend. Kickstart your backend development career roadmap for beginners. Welcome to this comprehensive guide to backend development for aspiring developers. We will discuss the essential concepts, roadmap, and how you can land your first backend development job. Okay. Now understanding backend development, you have to means mainly understand why backend is so important. You have means probably heard that backend is very tough. Backend is means the concepts are very complex. It's difficult to understand. Means why it is so important. See, backend development is what it says. The backend development is behind the scenes work that powers websites and applications. It involves managing databases, handling user authentication, and building APIs that interact with the front end. Okay, so let's break down this thing into parts. Okay, if you have any questions, you can just ask over the, you can unmute yourself or you can ask in the chat, whatever is fine. Okay, for you. Suppose, see, every web development app has three parts. Okay, I think you are unable to share my. Uh, can you see my screen? Sorry, I forgot to share the screen. My bad. That screen. Hmm. Can anyone confirm? Is the screen visible? Okay, okay, Saurabh. Okay, thanks for the confirmation. Let me show you the PPT once again because I wasn't sharing the screen. I was reading out from the PPT. Sorry for that again. Please bear with me. I am not an expert in these things. I know backend only. See. Kickstart your backend developer. Is the PPT visible? Guys, please tell. Yes, okay. Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you. Thank you very much for the confirmation. Uh, see. Kickstart your backend development career roadmap for beginners. Welcome to this guide. In this session, I will tell everything about backend development. We'll discuss the essential concepts. What are the main concepts in backend? I'll provide a simple roadmap and tell you how you can land your first backend development internship, backend development job. Okay, let's keep this interactive. Now, see. Why backend is important? This part only I was saying. Backend is behind the scenes work that powers websites, applications. It involves managing databases, handling user authentication, and building APIs that interact with the front end. Okay. Now let's divide this into parts. Okay. See, every server, any website which you visit, maybe you visiting the pre-grad website, maybe you are visiting this Google Meets website, maybe you are visiting Facebook, maybe you are visiting Amazon. All websites has three parts. Okay, three major parts. See, this is the front end part. So I'm giving as F. Okay, guys. I'm writing in short because I'm doing it with the mouse. Okay, it is little difficult to write everything with the mouse. Front end, this is the backend. Okay. And another thing we have database. Okay. This is our database. Okay. It is a little bit bad, but bear with me. Can you see the one not screen, guys? Please confirm. Okay. I will share the PPT. Wait. My bad. Just a second. Is this PPT visible now, guys? Can you see the PPT? Please confirm. Okay. Thank you, Hariam. Thank you for the confirmation. Hmm. PPT is visible, right, guys? Please confirm in the chat. Is the PPT visible? Thank you, Sahil. Thank you for the confirmation. Thank you so much. I will share the PPT at the end. No worries on that. Okay. In this session, I said I will tell the roadmap and how to do. Now, what is backend develop? Backend has few concepts which I will be explaining: managing database, handling user authentication, and building APIs. These APIs are the communication medium through which we communicate with the front end. Okay. Now let's go to this. Now see, any website you visit has three main parts. See, okay, front end. I'm denoting with F, backend, which I'm denoting with B, and this is the database. Okay. Just a second. This is database. Now, this what is front end, what is backend, and what in database? I will explain. Front end is the website. Suppose we type an URL, www.google.com. When I go into Google, this UI which we are seeing, this is the front end. Okay. Here we hit the URL. When we are hitting the URL, we are sending a request to the backend server that kindly give us the web page for google.com. Now what Google backend server is doing, we are making this request to the backend server. Whenever we write anything in the URL, it just goes to the backend, asks for that please kindly give me the google.com front end page, web page, google. So now what this backend server does, it goes to the DB, and over there it will see what are web pages are stored in the DB. There will be many web pages. One google.com web page is there, when Google Maps web page is there, Google Slides web page is there, Google Docs, Google Sheet, many web pages are there. From and DB means it's a very large DB. From that DB, what backend will do? Backend will receive that google.com web page, and they will give us the result. Okay, backend will take that web page and give it back to us. So what are the steps? First, we when go to the front end website, we make a request which goes to the backend. Backend does the processing. This is a server. This is a server. I will explain you in a while what is a server and what is database. All those things I will explain. Whenever we type anything in the URL, it goes to the backend server, and backend server requests that data from the DB, and they return us the result. See what we are seeing now, this google.com page, this entire thing is returned by the backend server, and these all things and these the meeting recording will be shared with you. Gitika will share the recordings with you. Okay. So basically we are communicating. Okay. We are now how these requests are made. How means front end tells backend ki backend give me the google.com web page. Okay. How backend gives us the result ki front end display the google.com image like this. These all interactions happen with the help of AI. Okay. AI, my bad, API. Okay. Application programming interface. Okay, these an API is a term that is it is a piece of code, you can say. Application programming interface, it is a piece of code that helps front end and back end to interact with each other. And also with the API, backend interacts with DB. Okay, with API, we interact with the DB also. Any interaction that happens between these three parts, it happens with API, sorry, not AI, API. Now, there are different types of API. Now, guys, you have to see. This is deep sea. Now, if you want to understand what are the types of API, first, I will show you what is an API. What is API? Okay. Uh, then we'll move into VS Code also, and I will code a simple website with Flask. See, API is an application programming interface set of rules, protocols, tools that allow different software applications to communicate with each other. Any communication we do in this web development field, it is done through API. Okay. How an API looks like? Give me an example of an API call. Give me an example of API call. In today's world, learning programming is very easy. Means we got all these AI tools. If you use them rightly, means you can understand anything. Means nothing is tough or nothing, no information is available. Nothing is like that. Okay, if you want, you can understand anything. Let it give the result. In the meantime, I'm showing you my from personal projects how an API call looks like. I hope you are able to see the VS Code screen. See, this I'm showing just an example. I know it will be a little tough, but I will explain you. Point wise, I will explain you. Okay. No need to get worried. It seems a lot of code, but it is easy. I assure you, it is very easy. Okay, now how we write this API call? See, this is an API call. See, this is the route means slash. When we go to an website, when we visit the home page, means this is an API, home page API. Okay, another API which we see, this thing has three API. One here, this is the second API call. This is the third, and this is the fourth. Okay, see, I'm increasing the spacing little bit. It will be easier for you to understand. Okay, basically these four API calls are going. These are an API call. Using these, we can means interact with the backend server. This code I'm writing, it will interact and fetch the required data from backend. Okay. This is the basic API idea I'm giving you. Just as of now, try to remember that API is used. Uh, I can increase the font size. Control plus plus. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I didn't know this. Thank you. Okay. Now it is lot better, I guess. Hmm. Okay. These are the API calls which are happening through which we are doing any backend processing. Okay. Suppose we have to check if a number is Armstrong number, means how we'll check it through the means backend. So if we pass the check Armstrong API, if we pass the number to this API, then this API will return whether that number is an Armstrong number or not. Okay, this is a short example. Now let's again go to the web presentation. Just as of now, API is used to interact with front end and back end. And what is front end versus back end? Means the look of the website is called the front end. Means any actionability action button if you put or anything. Suppose you click with a good animations, a new web page appears. All these are handled by the front end part. Front end is like the structure, not the structure means outside looks of the website, and backend is the like internal structure, means any processing we need to do, means any new website we have to open, any we have to go to the database, we have to fetch any data, or suppose any other task we have to check if a number is Armstrong number or not. Those all processing is done by the backend side. Now, front-end development focus on the user interface, UI, user interface, is how the website looks that users see. This only the front-end part is visible to the user, because how the website looks, that part is only visible. All the back-end logic that is not visible, that is in a back-end server that is stored as a .py file or .js file in case of Node.js, Node or .java file in case of Java. Backend development handles the server-side logic, and let's first go through the PPT, then I will go into the VS Code and show you some codes. Okay, it will be better because switching to VS Code and then PPT, it is causing little problems. Backend development handles the server side logic, entire all the backend logic, what all processing is required, how to retrieve data, all these things are stored in the backend part. Okay, I'll share the PPT also with you guys. Why choose now? Why you shouldn't become? See, it's ideal if you are good with. It should be means it is industry standard that you should be both aware of front end and back end. Means nowadays, you guys, as I'm working in the industry as a backend developer, many times a problem comes, means which is in the front end part, and many a times my front end teammates, he is not present. Maybe this has happened. Means my front end teammate was seriously ill, and we faced a important production issue. And the client is telling that that my team is there, is saying that team kindly solve this front end issue. Means this is a very important issue and it is affecting a lot of deliverables. So means at that time I just searched some front end tailwind CSS codes and logic, and then I tried figuring it out with the help of AI, DeepSeek, ChatGPT. I figured out the problem, but a small routing problem was there, and I solved it. So means in real world scenario, you should ideally you should know both. Means front end also you should be aware, back end also. Maybe you like back end more, or maybe you like front end more. I get it. Means that's your interest, that's your personalization. You like to do projects in that. But I say if you are if you are planning to move as a back end developer, some basic front end idea, front end architecture. Not maybe you are an expert in front, but basic idea you should have. Means as a software engineer in today's world, you should have a sound understanding of both. Not like that if you're moving into backend, I will not do anything related front end. Means as an engineer, you know who is an engineer? Engineer is someone who can solve a real world problem. Okay. Now when client will say this is the problem, engineer will solve this. We have to do these changes in front end, these changes in backend, these changes in DB, and the problem is solved. Hope you're getting my point. Means you have to be a problem solver. Means company doesn't want backend skills or front end skills, not like that. Company wants when client faces a problem, when client gives you a problem, you have to solve it. You should be very smart and very fast in solving real world problems, which previously I was also a student. I just passed from university in 2022. At that time I was also thinking that means I will only do backend development and this and that, means knowledge I require. But in the outside world, nothing matters. Only they want solution to their problems. Okay. If you are able to give them the solution, they will pay you very better. Means you will receive good ratings. You will receive a good compensation. You can crack into a good company. Okay. Now, why choose backend development? High demand. You are getting means backend part is the most difficult part. Means if we are developing a website, 30% is 30% is front end and 70% is effort is in backend, because backend contains both the internal processing of the website and all the database calls. You have to manage all the database calls. You have to manage the scalability issue. You have to manage everything. Means backend is a very serious job. And why this backend becomes difficult? Because if any issue if you get, you won't be able to means see the issue. In front end, suppose you made a header and it doesn't looks nice, just you will understand, it is looking little ugly, let me change the design, let me change the color. But in backend that thing is not possible. You cannot get an internal view. Now you're getting my point. If you cannot view, then solving that thing becomes very difficult. Okay, that's why a backend developer has to keep knowledge about everything. Means his basics should be very clear and he should have a clear understanding of the architecture, so that he can say means where the problem is occurring, what is causing the problem. You have to find out the cause of the problem. You have to solve the problem and also ensure that the same problem doesn't occurs in future. Okay. Now, why choose backend development? High demand. As I said, ki backend is the most difficult part, containing means having almost 70% efforts in a website development. Backend developers in high demand across various industries, including tech, startup, e-commerce, and fintech, whatever may be the domain. Competitive salaries. As you know, as the tasks get difficult, you get paid more. Okay. The difficult task, the more you get salary. It's directly proportional to the difficulty. Okay, backend developers typically earn competitive salaries due to their expertise and vital role they play in technology. Growth potential. A backend developer career offers ample opportunities for growth from junior role to senior positions and leadership roles. Means as you work as a backend developer, you means get to know about the understanding of the entire architecture. You know architecture, microservices architecture, monolith architecture. Just after this session, just you do a Google search or in any of the AI like DeepSeek, ChatGPT. What is means architecture? Then search what is microservices architecture. What is monolithic architecture? In short, I am telling you, microservices architecture means all the means it defines various parts of the code. Means it separates all the parts of the code. Okay. Suppose you are developing a shopping website like Amazon. Example of a microservices architecture would be means there will be a separate code base for users. Like I am a user Rajdeep Chakraborty. So means that in that way many users are there. So one part of the code will contain all the user related logic. One part of the code will be all product related or whatever the products that shopping website is having, like shoes, like shirts. These all will be stored in a all the logic. This product logic will be stored in a different file. Okay. And suppose anything means suppose like in Amazon Great India Sale we have, means then for that we have to then again create a new logic. Okay, that these are things are having discount, so these will be displayed first and then the regular products. Okay, you see this kind three means we divided the entire website into three parts. This dividing it into parts is called microservices. As you are getting it from the term, micro means small and services means we entire the big web development problem, we divide into small parts and keep it separate. Suppose if you are having you want to change products, then you will go into the products code and change. Suppose you want to change the users code, you will go into the users file and change. And in monolithic architecture is means that is not divided into small parts. All code is present in a single file. Okay, in that case it becomes very difficult for developers to work on those. Okay, if anything that is means not divided and not separated properly, I think you get the point why it is becoming difficult. Okay. And as you work as a backend developer, you get to know understand the architecture very well, and then you can move into little advanced roles like devops is a means very advanced role. Okay, means a freshers can obviously go into devops, but it is preferred someone with experience, someone who has an experience of managing servers, scaling servers. Okay, someone who has an experience means experienced people are preferred more for a DevOps role. As you are working as a backend developer, slowly I will say ki just from YouTube or from Google search, try to understand what DevOps is. If you like that DevOps field, then you can definitely move into the DevOps field. And also one thing, next weekend hopefully I will do another seminar on DevOps and what is DevOps and all those things. I will explain over there. Okay. You can check pre-grade. You can check with Gitika about that seminar. Okay. Now navigating the backend landscape. There's challenges. What are the challenges? Backend development can be challenging for beginners, involving a steep learning curve, debugging complexities, and scalability concerns. See, backend is the difficult part. Okay, so the suggestion is always start web development with HTML, JavaScript basics. Then, if you then go and do small projects in backend, and if you like backend, then delve into it. It is definitely little difficult to start with, but nothing is rocket science, means nothing is impossible or nothing is very hard, means all this is like logic, like maths 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Backend is also completely logic based. It gets easier with time. Okay, at the starting it will be means looking very difficult and it will look like it's very troublesome, but with time you will get used to it. Okay, just you need to stick and create projects. Okay, just don't leave it that this is tough, let's switch to a different domain, let's move on to this, let's move on to that. And another important part of backend development is database. You have to be very good with databases. Okay, databases also I will explain in the upcoming slides. Now, overcoming challenges, persistence, dedication, and leveraging resources like online communities and mentors can help overcome these challenges. Okay, means if you start as a backend developer, many times you will face into problems, many concepts you will not be aware, many solutions you will not get. In that time, you have to coordinate with your seniors or coordinate with your mentors. Okay, and the problem will get solved. That means you have to be means very you have to ask others, you have to go and initiate the conversation with others. You getting my point that I'm unable to solve this problem, kindly help me. I means out of if you ask 10 people these questions, maybe 8 people are busy with their own work, but 1 or 2 people will reply and that's your profit at the end of the day. So you have to means keep a learning attitude. You have to always keep a learning attitude. You have to ask, means no one will come and say, "Ki, tell your problems, I will solve." You have to go and say to them, "Ki, kindly solve my problem." You have to approach them. Okay, and it gets easier with time. Problem solving. Now, logical thinking and problem solving skills are crucial for backend development, as we'll be dealing with complex system and expected issues. Backend is like problem solving. You have to use your brain. You have to use logic. It's also like maths and science and physics. Okay, means you will understand it is simple logic, like 2 plus 2 it comes out 4. That's how, means backend will receive request, backend will give retrieve data from database and give it back to the front end. It's very logical. As you go through it, you will understand it. It's logic, that common sense. Roadmap to backend mastery. How you can, first you have to start with a language, learn the basics, start with programming fundamentals. You select any language. You can do backend in different languages like JavaScript, Python, Java, Ruby on Rails. Okay, you have to select a language and then clear the basics of those language, variables, loops, conditionals, data types, algorithms. Popular languages for backend development include Python, JavaScript, and Java. I won't say Java has become obsolete. Still, big companies are having their code bases in Java. But if you are starting now, I would suggest you should start with Python or JavaScript. JavaScript is the most popular one now. Currently, Python is also very popular, but more popular is JavaScript. Okay. Now, many a times, students start their career with ML and AI, ML, deep learning, AI. I also started my projects in third year and second year with data science, ML, and AI. So I learned Python. Now in the final year, as I moved into web development, means at that time there was a lot of pressure, placement pressure, and that's why I didn't have time to move into JavaScript. Okay. So I continued my journey with Python, and today I'm a backend developer with Flask. I can build very good scalable systems with Flask. Okay. And also in Python, there are two backend frameworks. One is Django and one is Flask. Django is for little complex and bigger websites, and Flask is for little. It's beginner friendly. Okay, Flask. And it is not like that. Flask cannot build complex and scalable system. With Flask also, you can build scalable session. A lot of big companies are having their code bases in Flask. Okay, but it is like easy to understand. Once you know Flask, then you can move on to Django very fast. Okay, and moving to Django will be very easy once you know, once you are is fine with the yeah, basics of this Flask web backend framework. Now once you get these basics cleared, variables, loops, then you have to move on to the backend concepts. Now, what are the main backend concepts? Main backend concepts are like routing, templates, then authentication, sessions, cookies, authorization. Means all these things you have to handle. Means a backend developer has to handle it. No outside person can access the backend server or steal their data. You get it? Means if anyone can enter the server, then they'll just enter the server and delete the data. Means that will be, or they will steal the data. Okay, then in that cases it becomes very difficult. Okay, security, everything, means entire responsibility of a website is on the backend, is on the backend developer. Everything you need to mention. The website has to be fast, the website has to be secure, the request response times must be small. That is only the fast website. Okay, everything, authorization, who can access the website and who cannot, means how to store data in cookies, how to create sessions, okay, how to deploy the website, how to maintain the website post deployment. These things are coming into DevOps category, but as a backend developer, you should have little bit idea of the DevOps side also. Means a backend developer is such a person who has to keep little bit front end idea also and little bit DevOps idea also. Okay, means you have to be a master of, means all trades, jack of all trades, like the saying goes. You have to good, means you have to know everything. Backend very nicely you have to master, and then little bit front end for solving problems, and little bit database and DevOps. Database is very compulsory for backend development, and DevOps also, it is not very difficult. DevOps is also easy. Just as you start with backend development, watch few videos in what YouTube or did some tutorials and blogs, and you will be good to go with DevOps. Understanding backend part, dive into core backend concepts such as API application programming interface. This is used for communication between different servers, client server, which is front end, and backend server, database. Any communication between those three, I showed in that Microsoft OneNote drawing. Any communication between those three happens with the help of API. RESTful is a type of REST stands for representational state transfer. Okay, it is a means it is, you can say, a protocol or rule for defining APIs. Okay, a standard for defining APIs. Other popular standards are also there, like GraphQL, web sockets, web hooks. Also, those you can search, but the most popular one is RESTful services. Okay, and I will just show you. Just say I'm showing you. If we go popular API standards. Okay, let me just zoom it a little bit. Just a simple search. REST is also an API standard. The other standards I'm telling you. Say representational state transfer. A little small. See, REST is one type. Okay, SOAP is another type. Simple Object Access Protocol. Okay, GraphQL is another type of API standard. gRPC, this is developed by Google Remote Procedure Call. WebSocket, WebSocket is another. These all have different use cases. Okay, for real time application like chat application, online gaming, we need these WebSockets, because here the request and response time is very less, because in this chat and gaming sessions we need very fast interaction between the front end and back end. You're getting, if the interaction is slow, then means the game will lag, then the chat will lag. But in, suppose in case of a banking application, we don't want that so much, means we don't want the speed, but what we need, that the server is very secure. Let it take time, but no data gets leaked. We have to assure in, suppose in banking applications. Okay, so all these API standards have different uses. Okay, it depends on the type of project you are building. If you're building a if you're building a banking app, at that time you have to give first preference to security. If you are building a chat application or gaming, and that time you have to give the first preference to speed. Okay, just search for the different API standards and you will get a detailed idea. REST API I said, and these are this XML RPC. This is, means in this the communication is done through XML files. Okay, I hope you know what is XML. Many are there. You can just say MQP, MQTT. All these are not required. You don't have to know all these. Just two, three, you know. Just I will say that you master REST very nicely and just keep an idea of the other ones like WebSocket, webhooks. Okay, GraphQL. GraphQL is also very, means it's very good. It means it's very, means lightweight. It doesn't returns extra data. Only the data you require in the communication, that much is only means extracted from the backend server. But in case of REST, means many useless data also gets extracted. Means you don't need that data, but it is increasing the size and it's making the request very heavy. Okay, you getting my point? Is the thing which you don't want from the backend server, and that is making your connection slow. That is not good. So you have to understand your, means you have to just search and understand what kind of API standard you require. These are the basics ones. Just I gave an idea. Okay, then let's move on to the slideshow. API RESTful service, a database. Now, database, there are two types of databases, SQL and NoSQL. SQL database stores data in the form of rows and columns. Just a second, guys. Two types of databases are there, SQL and NoSQL. SQL stores data in the format in the row and column format, and NoSQL stores data in different formats other than table format. Okay, it may be key value pairs, it may be graph, it may be a tree. Okay, anything means different. It can store data in the form of documents. Like in MongoDB, data is stored in the form of key value pair. Okay, and just search examples of NoSQL but my suggestion will be for SQL, learn PostgreSQL and MySQL. Both are means 90% same. MySQL and PostgreSQL, only 10% syntax difference is there. Okay, just master both. And for NoSQL, MongoDB. This much database knowledge is enough. And just you search and try to understand how database interact with the backend server. Okay, server side scripting. This is only the backend code file. The backend code file means the server side scripting and server management. Master a backend framework first. Get the basics of First get the basics cleared, variables, loops, then understand the RESTful API standard, which API you will use it. Then master a backend framework. For if you are proceeding with JavaScript, like you can start learning Node.js. For Python, you can go with Django or Flask, but Flask is a little beginner friendly. And if you want to proceed with Java, you can learn Spring Boot. If you want to proceed with Ruby, you can proceed on Ruby on Rails. But I think these your choice should be among these three only: Node.js, Django or Flask for Python, or Spring Boot. Okay, these things out of these three, you have to select one, and it will be better for your career. Build projects. Now backend is such a thing. Means if you keep watching tutorial and keep reading vlogs, means all the concepts won't get cleared. Means you have to build projects. As you build projects, as you get stuck and you search those problems and try to solve those problems, your backend understanding will improve a lot. Means backend is such a thing. Means you can solve a problem by 3 or 4 different ways. Okay, you have to figure it out. Means how do I need to solve? 3 or 4 ways will be there, but you have to select that I will proceed, I will solve the error with this path, I will solve the error with that path. That will make you a good backend developer. Building projects is very important. Learn DevOps basics. As I said, a little bit DevOps you should know as a backend developer. Just familiarize with yourself with like version control, like GitHub, version control, CI/CD pipelines with Jenkins. Okay. CI/CD pipelines, what this CI/CD stands for continuous integration, continuous deployment. Means the entire thing that developers are committing their changes to a version control system. Then that the pipeline is building the file and checking if any errors are there. Once the file it builds, it is then deployed to production. Before deploying it to production, this CI/CD pipeline also check with test cases. It does the means machine manual testing is not done, automated testing is done, that whether the code change that is merged into the latest repository, it is working as expected or not. So the testing is done, and if the testing work finds, then it is means deployed to the production. Okay, and after once it is deployed to the production, then DevOps engineer or backend engineer looks means what are the issues, what can be scalability issues, what can be caching problems. Okay, what to do if number of users increase, that is only scalability. Okay, this is CI/CD pipelines. Pipelines are written with the help of a language called Groovy. You need to know about Jenkins. Jenkins is a tool which is used to write pipelines with the language Groovy. Okay, just remember this, and lot of tutorials and blog posts are available. You can just go into and learn about CI/CD pipelines. It will take just 45 minutes. Okay, if you give 45 minutes, you'll be very good with CI/CD pipelines with Jenkins. And Groovy is also very easy, not difficult. Okay, just within 1 hour you will be able to understand Groovy. And also another thing that this you have to have knowledge about this cloud platforms also, like AWS, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform. Okay, these these platforms, what they do, they take a little bit of money from you and they do all this part. This see version control part, CI/CD pipelines, all these they will do. Means you have to just give the command and give them the money, and they will solve this problem. Okay, big companies are doing like that only. Okay, means no one is having time to big companies are not having time to write these pipelines, do the version control. They are more focusing on the backend code, how to make the server fast, how to make the server more attractive. how to means make people like our website, more and more people visit our website. Okay, the big companies focus on that, and these things they just give money and they will give the command, we need this, give money, and this cloud platforms will manage that. Okay, and this cloud platforms are very important, means serverless architecture. Means okay, there is previously what used to happen means in oh, I'm showing it. Earlier days, what used to happen when when we type any URL over here, it goes to the backend server and makes the call, as I said. Now, previously, what used to happen, this backend server would be a physical server somewhere. Suppose I'm staying in India, there is another manual and physical server in USA. Okay, means that is a physical server, means that is a machine, means that is a robot type of thing, is machine, physical server that is present somewhere. Okay, that is a physical thing. But nowadays what we are having serverless architecture. Instead of this manual server, we are using those cloud platforms, AWS, Azure, GCP, okay, as our server. Those mean, for those there are no means a virtual server, it is means in the cloud, it is no manual server is there, it is the server is hosted in cloud. Okay, I hope you are getting my point. Uh, I'm moving on into the year. Now, as I said, DevOps basic. Hopefully next weekend or next to next weekend, I will give you guys the idea about the DevOps part also. It's very easy. Means okay, not that difficult. I mean, see, I have done all the parts. I've done front end, back end, databases, and DevOps also. The most difficult part is back end. Okay, DevOps, front end, database, all these things are also difficult, but comparatively, backend is the most hard and difficult part of a website. Is that thing? Means backend requires a lot of time, lot of understanding. Okay, that takes means a lot of time. Practice and contribute. Practice consistently. Contribute to open source projects. Participate in hackathons. Okay, try and sharpen your skills and build your portfolio. Okay, so you should always. I hope you are aware about open source. Means in GitHub there are many repositories which require changes. So you can go there and practice backend, or if you don't want to commit changes in GitHub, you can build your own interesting project. Okay, anything you like, but I will, instead of watching, just watch a 1 hour or 30 minutes tutorial and then just jump onto coding, do hands-on. The more you do hands-on, the more you do projects, the concept will get cleared one by one. Okay, next move on to the next slide. Popular languages, like I said, if you want to do backend with JavaScript, you have to understand Node.js. If you want to do backend with Python, you have to either learn Django or Flask. If you want to learn Java, you have to go into Spring Boot. Currently, my expertise in Flask and Node.js. Node.js I'm learning, and in future I will move on to Django. Okay, this Flask is able to do all the tasks. Okay, so I'm not moving into Django now. So first, Flask, many projects, 5, 6 projects I have built. Now what I will do, then I will try to master Node.js. Okay, because the industry demand for Node.js is very high compared to Django. Okay, then once I'm good, I build 4, 5 projects with Node.js, then I will move on to Django. This just my personal timeline or plan. Okay, Java also very good. Spring Boot, you can proceed with Java also. The thing is with Java means many solutions, many information is available on the internet. Means Java is used as a backend tech stack from a long time. So you will get lot of help, lot of mentors. Sure, Rachit. We'll try. I will try. Okay, sure, Rachit. Java is known for its scalability. Okay, it is present from a long time. So means lot of many mentors you will get, many means solutions, vlogs, tutorials, every means lot of. If you get stuck anywhere, you will get lot of help in Java. But in JavaScript and Python, help is there definitely. AI is there compared to Java. Less help is present in JavaScript and means Python. Good, because these are the new technologies. These are means emerging, and this JavaScript and Python for the next 20 years. These two tech stacks will be there. Okay. Now move on to the next slide. Essential tools. These are the concepts you have to master. Databases, as I explained, SQL and NoSQL. See, popular data include MySQL and PostgreSQL. For both these are same, means 90% same, only 5%, 10% syntax changes there. Okay, that won't take much of a time. Learn either of these two. I will say first go with PostgreSQL, and then if you find the need, then MySQL will take 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, once you're good with Postgres. And for NoSQL, MongoDB is more than enough. Now API tools like I've shown you what are the types of API standards. Okay, WebSocket, webhooks, REST, GraphQL. Okay, and these Postman and Swagger, these are means GUI for this graphical user interface for this API interactions. Okay, suppose you want to test the API, then you can open this Postman application and hit your API, and you will get the result. You will be able to understand what is header, is what response you are getting, what are response codes. Okay, just if you go to YouTube and search for Postman tutorial, within 30 or 45 minutes, this Postman will be cleared, and all you will have a better understanding of APIs. Okay, cloud platform, as I said, you have to master. The most popular one is Amazon Web Services, and it is followed by Azure, and then Google Cloud. So means the most popular is AWS. First go with AWS, and once you are good with AWS, just means all these are same only. Little syntax change and little differences are there. Then you can move on to Azure, and then you can move on to Google Cloud. Okay. Other tools like I said, ki DevOps also you need little bit understanding. Docker for containerization. Docker is what is the importance of Docker? I will just highlight in the DevOps seminar. Means it blocks means it divides a big project or application into small parts. Okay, small content. One container will have database calls, one container will be have authorization calls, one container will be have API routings. Okay, one container will have all the dependencies which we store in requirements.txt. Okay, by the end of this session, one simple how can we create a backend server with Flask in 5-10 minutes, I will show you. After this, yeah, presentation, landing your first backend job, you need to build a strong portfolio. Okay, I'll share this PPT. You can go through this in more details. We are building a strong portfolio, means you have to build good projects or work with good companies and good startups, means which are very backend based startups. Okay, you have to work on those. You have to write clean code. You have to understand, means see, backend code is something like that which has to be written in a clean manner, because once you suppose you're working in a company, okay, now you write the backend code and you leave the company, then a new developer comes in your place. Now if you do not write clean code, that time the new joiner would have lot of problems. Okay, he won't be able to understand the backend code. This means this should be a standard practice. Okay, this should be made a good practice. Okay, suppose you are also joining a new company. Now the previous developer didn't write clean code, he didn't write comments. Now you will face the problem. Okay, so to keep the industry a good place, always try writing clean code. It takes a little time, not like that it will take twice the time. Means 2 to 3% time or 5% there will be increase in the duration, but it will be a lot of helpful for the next guy who is coming in your place. And same goes for you when you join a new company. Okay, this should be the basic standard for backend development. Good practices these are. Now, as I said, you have to connect with networks and professionals. You have to approach people. You have to ask them what, give me some project ideas. You can go to Google. You can search in YouTube. You can search in DeepSeek. You can search in ChatGPT. Okay, you have to build. You have to connect with people. Also, I know a lot of help is available in these AI and YouTube videos, but still, means you one-to-one manual physical interaction is very means required. It's a very important thing in this industry. Means previously in college I built projects, and now I'm working in a company. I go to office regularly. I understand the difference. Means what is the importance of in-person communication. These things means that as you enter the industry, these things will get cleared. One-to-one interaction is very important. I didn't give means much attention to it in my college days. Okay, I thought, and I don't need help from any mentor. I don't need help from any seniors. I will do entire thing from Google and searching. It is possible, but it takes a lot of time. Okay, just so means always try to do one-on-one interactions. Prepare for technical interviews. Just go to Google and ask your seniors or mentors what all questions can we expect in a backend developer interview. Okay, and I will try to say that I system you start learning system designs. Design is for little bit advanced developers, but still you should have a basic idea. The more idea you have, the more knowledge you have, higher you get paid. Okay, this is directly proportional. Just I will show you how can we create a backend server in 5 to 10 minutes. Then you can come up with your questions. Start your backend journey. Remember, the only thing you can be a good backend developer is you have to do hands-on. You have to build projects. You have to get stuck. You have to search for the solution. Then you have to code the solution and then test it. And you have to ensure that the same error or same issue doesn't happen in future. And this way you can become a great backend developer. I will be coming to the question just in a short duration. I will show you how can you create a hmm, uh, control plus plus. The size is not increasing with control plus plus. So see, this is the basic structure. Suppose see, this is a weather app. Okay, are you? I think you are able to see my screen. This is a weather app. Okay, I was building a weather app. This is the structure of a Flask backend code base. Okay, this is the backend code. Front end code will be different. This only contains the backend code. Okay, what are the types of files? So the static files. These files, the static files will contain all the CSS and the styling part. Okay, templates will contain all the HTML parts. And this is a virtual environment which I created for my project. And .env will have all the environment variables. If you have a security key for any API or some user password, all those, don't just hard code those values in this code. Just use dynamic typing. Dynamic, keep the values, mention a variable, keep the values here, and then use the variable in your code. Directly do not give the API key or password in the flask.py app. Okay, you're getting my point. If you give it over there, means it's not so secure, means it will be exposed to everyone. So what is the good concept? Use variables. Okay, keep the passwords, keep the keys in a variable, and then use that variable inside your main backend application. Okay, dot git ignore is for, means if you're pushing to GitHub, then if whatever files you mention here, okay, those won't be uploaded to GitHub. Now this is the main server file which I'll be showing. Requirements.txt contains all the dependencies. Okay, see, suppose uh, see, these are the dependencies which I used in project. See, blinker, certify, character set, normalizer, click, class. Okay, Jinja to markup shape. Okay, Python dot inver requests, your library 3 works you. Okay, all these are requirements. Means without these installed in our system, we won't be able to run our file backend. Means we won't be able to run the weather app. Okay, these are very important. This is just an example. One more I can show you. Suppose this one. Okay, these are the HTML files, and this is the main structure. Now, just I will show you. Just give me a second. How can you create a easy? Within 5 minutes, I will show you. Just give me a little time. Ah, Nowadays, coding has become very easy. Okay, this is the option for the Google Copilot. Initial, as you are a beginner, I would suggest don't use Copilot. But as you become an advanced developer, try using the Google Copilot. It saves a lot of time. Just don't blindly copy it. Use it to save your precious time. Okay. Now, suppose if I want to create a new .py file. Okay, now if we run this, to do is not defined. Okay, just see, we can create a backend server with these few lines of code. See, our website got created. Okay, hello world. The font is little small. Okay, see, means with this 4 or 5 lines of code, we have built a backend server. Okay, means it's such an easy thing. It's nothing difficult. Now, as you see, what are the main things? See, we are importing Flask, and now this is the route for our home page. Okay, means nothing is mentioned. Now, if you want to now you want to add a new route, these are only called API calls. Okay, now if you want to route like this, that login. Okay, okay, then here you can define the login function. Okay, and return, you can finally return logged in. We are logged in. Okay, now if I run the same code, okay, see hello world, we are able to see. Now what we have to do? Slash login, if we give, see, we are logged in. Okay, this is such an easy task. Okay, so that is all from my side, guys. Now, if you have any question, you can come up with those. I will share this PPT with Geetika. Any questions from your end? Having any questions, you can share. See, you can follow me. In few days, I will do live streams regarding live streams during where I will make backend projects. Okay, in YouTube, I will create backend projects in YouTube live. So just I will tell you can subscribe. You can get some value from it. You can also go to my GitHub and view all my projects. And I'm also there in LinkedIn. I would be very happy to connect with you. Just search for Rajdeep Chakraborty, and I'm showing you just a second. How you can connect with me. I hope you are able to see my screen. Hmm. This is my LinkedIn profile. You can just for Rajdeep Chakraborty only get it. You can see all my expertise over here. I have my latest resume or my GitHub link, lead code link. I also do competitive coding and solve DSA questions on lead code. Okay, if you need anything help needed at any coding part, I can help you. Okay, just go and see how my resume looks as means as a backend, how a backend developer's resume should look. It is not the perfect one, but nothing is perfect. Okay, just this is a good starting point for everyone. Okay, you can connect with me also. No worries on that. Okay, any doubt you have, you can ask me. So you can currently I don't have any coding videos on my YouTube, but within few 1 or 2 months, 1 few weeks, 1 or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I will start doing coding live streams. And you can also join my Discord server over there. I maintain all the whatever projects I do, whatever good videos are there. I update it all over there. Okay, this is my Discord server. I will share the link with this for this also. Okay. Discord. That is all from my side, guys. Gitika, the seminar is done. Anything you would like to add?
Okay, I think we can have questions if students are having any questions for the
Sure.
session.
Sure. I'm open to questions. You guys, if you have any doubt, anything, you can ask me now. You can ask me in LinkedIn. You can message me, text me, anything, whatever is feasible. Just come up with questions and clear your doubts. Don't be shy. It's everyone has a starting point.
Great. Okay, so what we can do is, if any of
Huh?
the students are having any doubts, they can just quickly either drop their doubts in the chat box, and we will direct it all to you. And
Yeah,
secondly,
sure.
yeah, and secondly, you can connect with Rajdeep sir via this Instagram channel and sorry, LinkedIn channel of theirs. And I think he has already dropped his LinkedIn, but if not, I will drop in the group only. And yeah, I think all the necessary links has been provided in order to reach out to Rajdeep sir and in order to ask any questions if you have. Yeah. And thank you, Rajdeep sir, for joining us today and for sharing your for sharing such an insightful session. And we got to learn a lot. I hope all of the students who are
Uh,
present into meeting will take a lot from the session. So thank you, Rajdeep sir, once again for joining in.
uh,
And to all of the
Thank you,
students.
Gitika, for giving me this opportunity. I mean, this means a lot. Yeah, I'm able to share my knowledge with everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity and this platform. Many thanks to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rajdeep sir, and also to all of the students. Thank you for taking your time out, and especially on today when there is finals. So I can understand the excitement and everything. You guys can now go back. The session has been over. Any other things and important, all of the resources will be dropped in the WhatsApp group. So don't worry about that. And yeah, that is all. We are looking forward to see you all at our upcoming webinar sessions. There was this question that Rachit actually asked. So please bring the session about web development and career opportunities in the next week. So Rachit, for that you need to just stay tuned to our website. We will be updating all of the posters with the most relevant topics or domains. So if you want to know more, you can just check out our website. Keep an eye on our website, and that is all. Okay, thank you for joining in, students. You guys can leave. Aksha, the certificates will be provided in the WhatsApp group. So information will be given in the WhatsApp group. Only you need to join it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Hariom.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Aksha.
you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank
Gitika.
you.